Good afternoon. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the afternoon. My name is Badhu Das. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and IS certified international education and training institute. In last years, we already served 30 million plus knowledge seeker from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus of professional 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and affordable research and community research providing holistic social work and education. We believe that is not effective to increase one skill just by offering formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate professionals all over the world. We distribute our services locally, national, and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminar courses, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 million services for free, like Red One Portfolio website, Resume Builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and wellness platform for gathering general knowledge which can update all day. Kids learning game, website, free course, combat science, and many more. We help empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training program, webinar, and offline online courses for you, the learner, by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the state of global professional. We believe that knowledge is love and light and crucial. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and will serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concept for the learner we represent, more diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective best quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment boxes. Support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before I move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment boxes. Support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, you already completed 1,747 webinars successfully. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, you already completed 1,747 webinars successfully. Dear IGP participant, well wisher, and the speaker, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launch our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our service. So create your account for once with profile information. Note that with profile information, you will enjoy our feature. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace that. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified e-certificate. Now it's easier and time oriented. because after the session we will not provide you any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificate, speakership certificate. If you are a host of IGP, you can download a certificate of gratitude. If you are an online life quiz competition winner, then you can download a certificate of participation. If you are a host, if you are selected for lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in an award function which organizes combined support with IGP, you can download that also. You can instantly prepare and download 18 tax certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of global professional membership, certificate of global inclusion in the pandemic, certificate of active knowledge, certificate of social activities in the pandemic, certificate of achievement IGP knowledge saying MA 2020, 2021 and 2022, certificate of participation webinar series 1, also gas in teaching learning, certificate of participation webinar series 2, teaching English as a foreign language and assessment, certificate of participation webinar series 3, digital classroom engagement tools, certificate of participation webinar series 4, the new training education, certificate of participation webinar series 5, upskill organizational leadership and managerial skills, certificate of participation webinar series 6, training innovation in mathematics education, certificate of participation webinar series 7, research and comprehension network, certificate of participation webinar series 8, art and teaching special program in the arts, certificate of participation webinar series 9, 21st century student teaching mathematics, certificate of IGP corporate ambassador, certificate of IGP campus ambassador, who you get prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1000 plus international level courses verified certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teachers, implication tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our 50 services website for free and many more. Their IGP will be sure we promised previously, but lack of technical issue, we are late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous financial. It's our college from our website. Now you can enroll, reset cost for everything. You can check it there for all the details. It's a tutorial request to check our button and pages on our website. Should like and say the benefit. Thank you, but note that without an account or logged in, you cannot enjoy our services. At present, we are going to start our 1748 webinar, which name is Learning Tourist, and today our speaker name is Dr. Samia Ismail Sheikh. She is from Palestine. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker, I want to share a very little bit about her. Executive Manager in Ministry of Education and Higher Education Palestine. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening for everybody all over the world. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. The
Pleased
stage
to
is
meet
yours.
you.
You can start your presentation now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. For once more, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everybody, for our knowledge seekers all over the world. Nice to meet you. I'm so pleased to meet you today for another time. We are going to talk today. We are going to talk about learning theories. In fact, there are about 15 learning theories. We are going to talk about some of them because we should talk more in deep for every theory. I'm Dr. Samia Ismail Sheikh. I'm from Palestine. I'm a manager in the Ministry of Education and Higher Education. Learning is defined as a process that brings together personal and environmental experiences and influences for acquiring, enriching, or modifying one's knowledge, skills, values, attitudes, behavior, and worldviews. Learning theories develop hypotheses and that describes how this process takes place. Generally, there are five widely accepted learning theories teachers rely on. In fact, there are maybe more than 15 learning theories, but we are going to talk about just some of them. As I told you, it takes a lot of time to talk about each one. Behaviorism learning theory, cognitive learning theory, constructivism learning theory, humanism learning theory, and connectivism learning theory. These are some of the learning theories we have, in fact. Okay. Um, in the next slide, what are learning theories? We are going to know what do they mean. Educational theorists, teachers, and experts believe these theories can inform successful approaches for teaching and serve as a foundation for developing lesson plans and curriculum. What are learning theories? We are going to know what are learning theories. Theories in education didn't begin in earnest until the early 20th century. But curiosity about how humans learn dates back to the ancient Greek philosophers Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. They explored whether knowledge and truth could be found within oneself, rationalism, or through external observation, empiricism. By the 19th century, psychologists began to answer this question with scientific studies. The goal was to understand objectively how people learn and then develop teaching approaches accordingly. By the 19th century, psychologists began to answer this question with scientific studies. The goal was to understand objectively how people learn and then develop teaching approaches accordingly, as I said. In the 19th and the 20th century, they debate among educational theorists centered on behaviorist theory versus cognitive psychology. Or, in other words, do people learn by responding to external stimuli or by using their brains to construct knowledge from external data? Why are learning theories important? Why are they important? Why should we learn about learning theories? It is part of the human condition to crave knowledge. Consequently, numerous scientists, psychologists, and thought leaders have devoted their careers to studying learning theories. Understanding how people learn is a critical step in optimizing the learning process. It is for this reason that teacher colleagues or colleges or educator preparation programs spend so much time having teacher candidates study human development and multiple learning theories. Foundational knowledge of how humans learn, and specifically how a child learns and develops cognitively, is essential for all educators to be their most effective instructors in the classroom. Just as no two people are the same, no two students learn in the same way or at the exact same rate. Effective educators need to be able to pivot and craft instruction that meets the needs of the individual student to address the needs of whole child. Sound knowledge in multiple learning theories is a first step to this and other reason why great teachers work their entire careers to master both the art and the science of teaching. Although espousing a particular learning theory isn't necessarily required in most teaching roles, online learning author and consultant Tony Bates, for example, one of the scientists, points out that the most teachers tend to follow one or another theory, even if it's done unconsciously. So, whether you are an aspiring to or experienced teacher, a student, or a parent of a student, or some combination thereof, knowing more about each theory can make you more effective in the pursuit of knowledge. Are there other theories in education? Of course, I said or I told you that there are about 15 theories, or maybe there will be more in the future. Like students themselves, learning theories in education are varied and diverse. In addition, the 5 theories outlined, which I told you about in the previously above, there are still more options, including transformative learning theory. This theory is particularly relevant to adult learners. It posits that new information can necessarily or can essentially and necessarily change our world views when our life experience and knowledge are paired with critical reflection. Then there is another theory which is called social learning theory. This theory incorporates some of the tacit tenets of peer pressure. Specifically, students observe other students and model their own behavior accordingly. Sometimes it's to emulate peers, other times it's to distinguish themselves from peers. Harnessing the power of this theory involves getting students' attention, focusing on how students can retain information, identifying when it's appropriate to reprocedure and the previous behavior. There is another question: how educational theories influence learning? How do they influence learning? This is a very important question. Educational theories influence learning in a variety of ways. For teachers, learning theory examples can impact their approach to instruction and classroom management. Finding the right approach, even if it's combining two or more learning theories, can make the difference between an effective and inspiring classroom experience and an effective one. Applied learning theories directly impact a classroom experience in a variety of ways, such as providing students with structure and a comfortable, steady environment, then helping educators, administrators, students, and parents align on goals and outcomes, empowering teachers to be, as Bates says, Bates is one of the scientists in education. He said, in a better position to make choices about how to approach their teaching in ways that will best fit the perceived needs of their students. Impacting how and what a person learns, then determining how much collaboration will happen in a classroom. These are the benefits of using these of knowledge of knowing or the knowledge of learning theories. Then helping outsiders, colleges, testing firms, etc., determine what kind of education you had or are receiving. Then allowing students a voice in determining how the class will be managed. Then deciding if instruction will be mostly teacher-led or student-led. How to apply learning theories? Now, if I know a theory, sometimes the teachers who don't know about learning theories, they apply them without knowing the systematic steps of doing them, or they apply them systematically, in fact, but they don't know that this is a learning theory. So, how do learning theories apply in the real world? Education is an evolving, field with a complicated future, and according to Rugman, this is another scientist. The effects of applied educational theory can be long-lasting. The effects of any of using any learning theory, it will be long lasting. If we want to talk about the first kind or the first theory, it is cognitivism. In contrast to behaviorism, cognitivism focuses on the idea that the students process information they receive rather than just responding to a stimulus, as with behaviorism. This is still a behavior change evident, but this is in response to thinking and processing information. Cognitive theories were developed in the early 19th in Germany from Gestalt psychology by Wolfgang Kohler. In English, Gestalt roughly translates to the organization of something as a whole that is viewed as more than the sum of its individual parts. Cognitivism has given rise to many evidence-based education theories, including cognitive load theory, schema theory, and dual coding theory, as well as being the basis of retrieval practice. In cognitivism theory, learning occurs when the student recognizes the information either by finding new explanations or adapting old ones. This is viewed as a change in knowledge and is stored in the memory rather than just being viewed as a change in behavior. Cognitive learning theories are mainly attributed to Jean Piaget. Examples of how teachers can include cognitivism in their classroom include linking concepts together, linking concepts to real world examples, discussions, and problem solving. The third kind of theories or of learning theories is the constructivism. It is based on the premise that we construct learning new ideas based on our own prior knowledge and experiences. Learning, therefore, is unique to the individual learner. Students adapt their models for understanding either by reflecting on prior theories or resolving misconceptions. Students need to have a prior base of knowledge for constructivist approaches to be effective. Bruner's spiral curriculum is a great example of constructivism in action. As students are constructing their own knowledge base, outcomes cannot always be anticipated. Therefore, the teacher should check and challenge misconceptions that may have arisen. When consistent outcomes are required in a constructivist approach may not be the ideal theory to use. Examples of constructivism in classroom include problem-based learning, research and creative projects, and group collaborations. I want to say that not all theories are suitable for all students or for all children, but we should use the theory that suits the stage or the age of our students. Uh, when Piaget theory of cognitive development, he said that there will be behavioralism and there will be learning and behavioral changes are acquired by linking stimuli and response. Then cognitivism learning is internal and is the result of a student processing and organizing new information. Then constructivism knowledge is constructed by adapting new information based on previous information. Piaget is an interesting character in psychology. His theory of learning differs from many others in some important ways. First, he focuses exclusively on children. Second, he talks about development, not learning per student. And third, it's a stage theory, not a linear progression theory. Okay, so what's he on about? Well, there are some basic ideas to get your head around and some stages to understand too. The basic ideas are, first of all, schemas, the building blocks of knowledge. Then adaptation processes. These allow the transition from one stage to another. He called these equilibrium, assimilation, and accommodation. The third step is stages of cognitive development. Sensor motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. So here's how it goes. Children develop schemas of knowledge about the world. These are clusters of connected ideas about things in the real world that allows the child to respond accordingly. Once it's changed, it returns to equilibrium and life goes on. Learning is therefore a constant cycle of assimilation, accommodation, equilibrium, assimilation, and so on. All that goes through the four stages of cognitive development, which defined by age. Piaget stages of cognitive development. First of all, the sensor motor stage runs from birth to 2 years, and the child depends their time or spends their time learning basic schemas and object permanence, the idea that something still exists when you can't see it. Then the second stage is the pre-operational stage, runs from 2 years to 7 years, and the child develops more schemas and the ability to think symbolically, the idea that one thing can stand for another, words, for example, or objects. At this point, children still struggle with theory of mind, empathy, and can't really get their heads around the viewpoints of others. Accordingly to Piaget, the whole process is active and requires the rediscovery and reconstructing of knowledge across the entire process stages. Understanding the stage a child is in informs what they should be presented with based on what they can and cannot do at the stage they are in. Piaget's work on cognitivism has given rise to some brilliant work from people like John Wheeler, who developed the fantastic cognitive load theory, and John Flavel's work on metacognition. Vygotsky takes a different approach to Piaget's ideas that developed precedes learning. Instead, he recounts, that social learning is an integral part of cognitive development, and it is culture, not developmental stage, that underlies cognitive development. Because of that, he argues that learning varies across cultures. sorry, sorry. Uh, because of that, he argues that learning varies across cultures rather than being a universal process driven by the kind of structures and processes but forwarded by Piaget. Zone of proximal development. He makes Vygotsky by using these basic tools in interactions with their sociocultural environment, children sort of improve them using whatever their culture provides to do so. In the case of memory, for example, Western cultures tend towards not taking mind maps or mnemonics, whereas the cultures or other cultures may use different memory tools like storytelling. Vygotsky talks about elementary mental functions, by which he means the basic cognitive processes of attention, sensation, perception, and memory. In this way, cultural variation of learning can be described quite nicely. What are crucial in this learning theory are the ideas of scaffolding, the zone of proximal development, and the more knowledge other, which is abbreviated in the letters MKO. Here's how all that works. More knowledge other. The more knowledge other can be, but does not have to be, a person who literally knows more than the child. Working collaboratively, the child and the more knowledgeable other operate in the other zone, which is the bit of learning that the child can do or can't do on their own. As the child develops, he gets the bigger because they can do more on their own. The process of enlarging the zone of proximal development, which is called scaffolding. Vygotsky scaffolding. Knowing where that scaffold should be set in a massively important, and it's the MKOs, as we said, it's abbreviation for the word job, to do that, that the child can work independently and he can learn collaboratively. For Vygotsky, language is the heart of all this because it's the primary means by which the MKO and the child communicates ideas and internalizing. It is enormously powerful in cementing understanding about the world. The internalization of speech becomes a private speech of the self inner voice and is distinct from social speech, which occurs between people. Over time, social speech becomes private speech and hypocrisy. That's learning because the child is now collaborating with themselves, or the children are collaborating with themselves. It doesn't take a genius to work out. Therefore, that the learning environment and the interactions are everything. Scaffolding is also an integral part of principles of instruction. Bloom's domain of learning. In 1956, American educational psychologist who is called Bloom, first proposed the three domains of learning: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Bloom worked in collaboration with David Rothwell and Anne Harrow throughout the 1950s to 1970s on the three domains. The cognitive domain, Bloom's taxonomy. This was the first domain to be proposed in 1956, and it focuses on the idea that objectives that are related to cognition could be divided into subdivisions and ranked in order of cognitive difficulty. These ranked supervisions are what we commonly refer to as Bloom's taxonomy. The original subdivisions are as follows. Knowledge is the lowest, with evaluation being the most cognitively difficult. The cognitive domain, Bloom's taxonomy, this was the first domain to be proposed in 1956, as I said, and it focuses on the idea that objectives that are related to cognition could be divided into subdivisions and ranked in order of cognitive difficulty. These ranked divisions, as I said, commonly refer to Bloom's taxonomy. And in Bloom's taxonomy, it is a pyramid, and there are some divisions. The first of all, or the lowest one, is knowledge. Then the upper is understanding. Then we began from the lowest layer. First of all, knowledge, then understanding, then application, then analysis, then synthesis, then evaluation. These are the layers of Bloom's taxonomy. These rank supervisions are what we commonly refer to as Bloom's taxonomy. The original subdivisions are, as I told you, the highlights of this revision were switching names of the superdivisions from nouns to verbs, thus making them easier to use when curriculum and lesson planning. The other main change was the order of the top two subdivisions was reversed. The updated taxonomy is as follows. The highlights of this revision were switching names of supervisions from nouns, as I said, to verbs. The other main change was the order of the top two subdivisions. First of all, the updated taxonomy is as follows. First of all, the affective domain. The affective domain, sometimes referred to as the feeling domain, is connected with the feeling and emotions and also divides objectives into hierarchical subcategories. It was proposed by Rothwell and Bloom in 1964. The affective domain is not usually used when planning for math and sciences, as feelings and emotions are not relevant for those subjects. However, for educators of arts and languages, the inclusion of the affective domain is imperative, whatever or wherever possible. The rank domain subcategories range from receiving at the lower end up to the characterization at the top. The full ranked list is as follows: receiving, first of all, receiving, being aware of an external stimulus, feel, sense, experience. The second layer is responding to the external stimulus, satisfaction, enjoyment, contribute. The third, valuing, referring to the student's belief or appropriation of work, show preference or respect. Organization, the constellation and organization values or of values examine, clarify, and integrate. Characterization, the ability to practice and act on their values, review, conclude, and judge. These are the rank domain categories ranging from receiving, as I said, at the lower end up to characterization at the top. The psychomotor domain. The psychomotor domain refers to those objectives that are specific to reflex actions, interpretive movements, and discrete physical functions. A common misconception is that physical objectives that support cognitive learning fit the psychomotor label, for example, dissecting the heart and then throwing it. While these are physical actions, they are a vector of cognitive learning, not psychomotor learning. Psychomotor learning refers to how we use our bodies and reflex movements. Sorry, reflex movements. These movements are those that we possess from birth to appear as we go through puberty. They are automatic, that is do or that is they do not acquire or require us to actively think about them. For example, breathing, opening and closing our pupils, or shivering when cold. Fundamental movements, these are those actions that are the basic movements: running, jumping, walking, etc., and commonly form part of more complex actions such as playing a sport. Then perceptual abilities. This set of abilities features those that allow us to sense the world around us and coordinate our movements in order to interact with our environment. They include visual, audio, and tactile actions. Then the physical abilities. These abilities refer to those involved with strength, endurance. Skilled movements, objectives set in this area are those that include movements learned from or for sport, twisting the body in high driving or trampolining, dance, or playing a musical instrument, placing fingers on guitar strings to produce the correct note. It is these movements that we sometimes use in muscle, and we call them muscle memory. Then the last one, non-discursive communication, meaning communication without writing. Non-discursive communication refers to physical actions such as facial expressions, posture, and gestures. There is another scientist sorry, who's called Gagne's conditions of learning. We are going to know Gagne's conditions of learning. Robert Mills Gagnes was an American educational psychologist who in 1965 published his book, The Conditions of Learning. In it, he discusses the analysis of learning objectives and how the different classes of objective require specific teaching methods. He called these his 5 conditions of learning, all of which fall under the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains discussed earlier. Verbal, first of all, verbal information in this lies under the cognitive domain, then intellectual skills, and it is also under the cognitive domain. Cognitive strategies, also it lies under cognitive domain, then motor skills, psychomotor domain, it lies under psychomotor domain, and attitudes and it lies under effective or affective domain. Uh, Gagne's 9 levels of learning to achieve his 5 conditions of learning. Gangs believed that learning would take place when students progress through 9 levels of learning and that any teaching session should include a sequence of events through all 9 levels. The idea was that the 9 levels of learning activate the 5 conditions of learning and thus learning will be achieved. These 9 levels are, the first level is inform students of the objective, then stimulate recall of prior learning, sorry, then present the content, then provide learning guidance, then elicit performance or practice, then provide feedback, then assess performance, then enhance attention and transfer to the job. These are the 9 steps which we should follow in presenting our lessons. Benefits of Gang's theory used in conjunction with Bloom's taxonomy. Gang's 9 levels of learning provide a framework that teachers can use to plan lessons and topics. Bloom provides the ability to set the objectives that are differentiated, and Gang's give a scaffold sorry, to build the lessons on. These are all what I want to talk about today. There will be another, in fact, there should be another lecture for learning theories, inshallah, next time. Thank you very much. I've finished, Miss. I hope that you have got the benefit you are seeking for. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for IGB team, which I'm so proud to be one member of them. Thank you very much. I have finished. Miss, I have finished. Miss, I have finished my lecture. I have finished my lecture. Will you please, Miss?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your
Thanks a lot.
presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow
Okay.
together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our webinar. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we will be back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have an online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have an online quiz competition. participant, dear IGP non-seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Ma'am, our first question is from Flummy. Good day, everyone. Hi, ma'am. How do learning theories influence learning? Thank you, ma'am.
A very good question. Thank you very much. In fact, it affects learning theories, influence learning so much, as I said in my talking or on my speech previously. It affects the teaching learning process, and the teacher, when he knows the learning theories, he will be systematic, or he'll be use or he will use ways or methods of teaching when teaching, for example, any subject, of course, science or or arts or mathematics. He will know how to begin his lesson, how to put his objectives, how to evaluate his students, how to make assessments for them, how to ask them, how to pay more attention for individual differences, how to be limited in the time, how to distribute questions all over the students, how to know the stages of development of the students, and how to choose the suitable theory for them. As I said, not all theories are suitable for the students, but there are some theories which are very suitable for the kids and the children, and there are others which are not suitable for them. As for, we have to be or to pay more attention of choosing the theory we are using. And as I said to you, I told you that Bloom's taxonomy, he put the skills which the teacher should follow or should acquire to give them or to let the students acquire them. So when he put the objectives according to Bloom's taxonomy, he will be able to know what is he going to do. He will be systematic with his students. It will influence his way of teaching, and this will influence the way of acquiring the skills he is teaching. And so it will influence the teaching learning process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. Ma'am, our next question is from Aaron. Good morning, good afternoon, fellow knowledge seeker. Hi, ma'am. How do learning theories affect curriculum development? Thank you, and far more.
As I said, that if we use learning theories, they will affect the teaching learning process. Sorry, and if he puts the objectives, how do I put the objectives of my lesson? I should make an analysis for the content of my curriculum. So if I know very well what are the objectives of these or the content of the units of my subject, I will be able to know how shall I deliver them to the students. I will know what are the suitable curriculum for my students. Not all curriculums are suitable for our students, but for children or for any stage or any grade, we have to put curriculums which are very suitable to our students for their growth and development and their environment and their situational lives and the skills which we are seeking to deliver to them. And so we should develop our curriculums according to the needs of the growth and the needs of the children and the needs of our knowledge seekers and the needs of our students. And so we should develop our curriculum. And so you see that most of the nations try to develop their curriculums according to the updates of technology and happens in the world all over the world, or for example, the artificial intelligence, which is now is worldwide. So we have to develop our curriculums according to the learning theories to develop our students' skills and our students' uh, development. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, ma'am, for your answer. Ma'am, there is no more questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot
Thank you.
from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable ma'am, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening for all of you. Nice to meet you, and inshallah, there will be
Honorable ma'am,
next
before
month
you...
there will be another lecture. Thank you. Shall I leave now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Dear IGP Knowledge Seekers, time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instructions carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instructions carefully. For some technical problem, we cannot continue the quiz session from our website. So, to join the quiz session, you have to go www.cyber.com and the code is 2589344. I repeat the code 2589344, and between three people we are going to start our quiz session right now. First question is reflex and hyaluronic equal to motor learning theories. Is it true or false? Option 1, 2 is the right answer. 6% people are right here in the leaderboard. Mary is holding the first position. Our second question is learning theory, learning the demonstration. Option 1, social learning theory. Option 2, opponent conditioning. Option 1 is the right answer. 18% people are right here in the leaderboard. Mary is holding the first position. Our third question is learning theories allow us to observe learning. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 1 is the right answer. 96% people are right here in the leaderboard. Mary is holding the first question. Our fourth question is which of the following is not an assumption of the learning theories? Option 1, only observable behavior should be studied. Option 2, they believe in studying mental processing. Option 2 is the right answer. 20% people are right here in the leaderboard. Marzoria is holding the first position. Our fifth question is what is another term for learning theories? Option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 42% people are right here in the leaderboard. Marjorie is holding the first position. Our sixth question is learning theory. Option 1, assume that some form of social control is necessary to control crime. Option 2, assume human being as born as blank slate. Option 2 is the right answer. 37% people are right here in the leaderboard. Mary is holding the first position. Our seventh question is learning theory. Option 1, explain and predict behavior, option to state what will happen when someone does something. Option 1 is the right answer. 63% people are right here. The leaderboard Mary is filling the first position. Our eighth question is learning theories. Option 1 genetic and environment, emotion affect a student ability to apply mentality. Option 2 genetic environment, emotional affects a student ability to apply materials. Option 1 is the right answer. 63% people are right here. The leaderboard Evelyn is holding the first position. Our ninth question is learning theories. Option 1 focus on logic and memory. Option 2 focus on how experience shaped the environment. Option 2 is the right answer. 52% people are right here. In the leaderboard Evelyn is holding the first position. Our last and final question of the session is learning theories. Option 1 this is the only one that is right. Option 2 expand from each other and are influenced by researchers. Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in your top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in your top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in your top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly feed your skill, never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy as success. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to go to people or things somewhere understand. Before I say or hit the end like button, I want to thank all our GP knowledge seekers for your active participation as well as see you again in the next session. Thank you.